إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين.
Verily all the praises belong to Allah. We praise Him and we seek His help and we seek His forgiveness. And we seek refuge in Allah from the evil of our souls and from the evil of our actions. Whomsoever Allah guides, there is none to misguide him, and whomever is misguided, there is none to guide him after Allah. I bear witness that nothing has the right to be worshipped except for Allah alone without partners, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his slave and messenger. May the peace and blessings be upon him and upon his family and upon his companions and upon those who follow them in goodness until the day of judgment.
أما بعد، فيا عباد الله اتقوا الله تعالى وتأملوا ما جاء في الكتاب والسنة من احترام حقوق الإنسان.
O slaves of Allah, fear Allah Ta'ala and reflect upon what has came in the book and the sunnah concerning honoring the rights of mankind.
قال النبي صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم وهو يخطب الناس في عرفة في أكبر مجمع للمسلمين: إن دماءكم وأموالكم وأعراضكم عليكم حرام كحرمة يومكم هذا في شهركم هذا في بلدكم هذا.
The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him and his family, said while he was giving the sermon to the people during Arafat, and this was the biggest gathering. This was the biggest gathering of the Muslims. He said, verily, your blood and your wealth and your honor is sacred between you, just like this day of yours is sacred, and just like this month of yours is sacred, and just like this land of yours is sacred.
ولقد شاع بين الناس اليوم جاءان كبيران عظيمان هما في نظر كثير من الناس سهلان صغيران.
And surely it has become widespread amongst the people today two great tremendous illnesses, and they are both in the eyes of many people easy and very small.
أما أحدهما فالغيبة. يقوم الرجل يذكر أخاه المسلم بما يكره أن يذكر به من خلق أو خلقة أو عمل أو معاملة.
As for one of them, then it is backbiting. So the man will mention his brother Muslim by that which he hates that should be said about him, from his physical appearance, or from his manners, or from his work or actions, and from his dealing with the people.
فتجد هذا الذي يغتاب عباد الله أكبر همه في المجالس أن يعترض ويعرض عيوب الناس كأنما وكل بنشر هذه المعايب، وكأنما وكل بتتبع عورات المسلمين.
And so you will find that this person who backbites the slaves of Allah, that the most important thing to him when he is in a gathering is that he expose or turn the people's attention to the faults of the people, as though he has only been appointed to spread these faults around, or that he has only been appointed that he follow up the faults of the Muslims.
وليعلم هذا المسكين أن من تتبع عورة أخيه تتبع الله عورته، ومن تتبع الله عورته فضحه ولو في جوف بيته.
And so this pathetic person should know that whoever follows up the faults of his brother, then Allah will follow up on his faults. And if Allah follows up on his faults, then his faults will be exposed even if they occurred in the center of his house.
وليعلم أن من تسلط على نشر عيوب الناس وتتبع عوراتهم سلط الله عليه من ينشر عيوبه ويتتبع عورته.
And they should know that whoever puts himself in charge of spreading the faults of the people and following up the faults of the people, then Allah will put over him someone who will spread his faults and who will follow up on his faults.
ولو فتش هذا القائل الذي ينشر عيوب الناس ولو فتش عن نفسه لوجد نفسه أكثر الناس عيوبا وأسوأهم أخلاقا وأضعفهم أمانة.
And if this person who is doing the talking, the one who is spreading the faults of the people, if he were to examine himself, he would find that he has more faults than everybody, and that he is the worst of them in manners, and that he is the least trustworthy of all of them.
ولو لم يكن من عيوبه إلا تسليط لسانه على عباد الله لكان هذا كافيا.
And if his only sin was that he let his sharp tongue loose upon the slaves of Allah, then this would be enough.
إن هذا الرجل المسلط على عباد الله لمسؤوم على نفسه مسؤوم على جلسائه، أما كونه مسؤوما على نفسه فإنه قادها إلى الشر والبغي، وأما كونه مسؤوما على جلسائه فلأن جلساءه إذا لم ينهوه عن فعله صاروا شركاء له في الإثم.
This man, the one who lets his tongue loose upon the slaves of Allah, then he is a disaster for himself, and he is a disaster for those who sit with him. As for him being a disaster for himself, then it is because he has drove himself to evil and to being a tyrant. And as for him being a disaster for those who sit with him, because if they don't stop him from his action, then they are going to share the sin with him.
أيها المسلمون، إن الله تبارك وتعالى نهاكم عن الغيبة، فاحذروا الغيبة، احذروا الغيبة فإنها أكل لحوم الناس.
O Muslims, really Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala has prevented you from backbiting. So beware of backbiting. Beware of backbiting. Beware of backbiting, because verily it is eating the flesh of people.
ولقد مثل الله ذلك بأقبح مثال مثله بمن يأكل لحم أخيه ميتا، فهل تجدون أقبح وأبشع من شخص يجلس إلى أخيه الميت فيقطع جيفته قطعة ويأكلها؟ هل تجدون أحدا يمكن أن يطيق ذلك؟ إلا أن الذي يغتاب الناس هو الذي يطيق ذلك.
So Allah has compared backbiting to the worst example. He compared it to the one who eats the flesh of his dead brother. So do you think you will find anything more despicable or horrid than a person who sits at his dead brother and cuts up his corpse? He cuts it up into pieces and then he eats it. Do you think you will find anybody who is capable of doing such a thing except the one who backbites the people? He is capable of doing such a thing.
يقول الله تعالى: ولا يغتب بعضكم بعضا أيحب أحدكم أن يأكل لحم أخيه ميتا فكرهتموه واتقوا الله.
Allah Ta'ala says in chapter number 49, verse number 12, what can be translated as, and do not backbite one another. Would one of you like to eat the flesh of his dead brother? You would hate it. And fear Allah.
وقد جاء في الأثر أن الإنسان يعذب يوم القيامة فتقدم له جيفة أخيه يكلف أن يأكلها ويقال كله ميتا كما أكلته حيا.
And it comes in a narration that the person will be punished. They will be punished on the day of judgment. So the corpse of his brother will be brought before him, and he will be forced to eat it. And it will be said to him, eat him while he's dead, just like you ate him while he was alive.
أيها المسلمون، إن أمر الغيبة أمر عظيم وخطر جسيم. إن كلمة تقولها في أخيك تعيبه بها لو مزجت بماء البحر لأثرت به.
O Muslims, this affair of backbiting is a great affair, and it is a massive danger. And this statement that you say about your brother finding fault in him, if you were to mix it with the water of the sea, then it would change the water of the sea.
فاتق الله أيها المسلم، فلقد جاء في الحديث أن النبي صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم مر بقوم لهم أظفار من نحاس يخمشون بها وجوههم وصدورهم، فقال يا جبريل من هؤلاء؟ قال هؤلاء الذين يأكلون لحوم الناس ويقعون في أعراضهم.
So fear Allah, O Muslim. And there comes in a hadith that the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him and his family, passed by a people, and these people had nails of brass, and they were using these nails to scratch their faces and their chest. So the Prophet Muhammad said, O Jibril, who are these people? And Jibril said, these are the ones that eat the flesh of the people, and they slander the honor of the people.
وإن بعض الناس الذين ابتلوا بالغيبة إذا نصحته قال أنا لم أقل كذبا، أنا لم أقل إلا ما كان فيه. ولقد سئل النبي صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم حين تحدث عن الغيبة فقال الغيبة ذكرك أخاك بما يكره. قالوا يا رسول الله أرأيت إن كان في أخي ما أقول؟ قال إن كان فيه ما تقول فقد اغتبته، وإن لم يكن فيه ما تقول فقد زهدته. أي جمعت بين البهتان وهو الكذب والغيبة.
And some of the people who have been tried with being backbiters, if you were to advise them, they would say, I am not telling a lie. I am only saying something about him that is true. And when the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him and his family, was asked about backbiting, he said, backbiting is to mention your brother with something that he would hate to be said about him. They said, O Rasulullah, what do you say if we say something about our brother that is true? He said, if you say something about him that is true, then you have backbitten him. And if you say something about him that is not true, then you have slandered him. Meaning you have combined lying and backbiting.
وأكثر الناس اليوم يقولون في إخوانهم ما لا يعلمون. لو سألته فقلت له أتشهد عليه بما قلت؟ لقال لا أشهد. ومن المعلوم أنه سوف يسأل عن ذلك يوم القيامة. أفلا يتقي الله هذا؟ أفلا يعلم أنه ما يلفظ من قول إلا لديه رقيب عتيد؟ أفلا يعلم أنه يحاسب عن كل كلمة قالها؟
And today, most of the people speak about their brothers concerning things that they really don't have any knowledge of. And if you were to ask them, did you witness what you are saying about him? They will say, no, I didn't witness it. And it is a known fact that they are going to be asked about that thing on the day of judgment. Will this person not fear Allah? Does this person not know that every statement they utter, there is a watcher ready to write it down? Does this person not know that they will be taken into account for every statement that they utter?
وإنني أسأل هذا الذي ابتلي بغيبة الناس: أترضى أن يقع الناس في عرضك فيغتابونك؟ سيكون جوابه: لا أرضى بذلك أبدا. فيقال له: إذا كنت لا ترضى أن يقع الناس في عرضك فلماذا تقع في أعراض الناس؟ أما تخشى أن يفضحك الله في الدنيا قبل فضيحة الآخرة؟
And I'm asking the person who has been tried with backbiting the people, would you like for the people to slander your honor? Would you like for the people to backbite you? His answer is going to be, no, I would never like that. Then the question is, if you would not like for the people to slander you, then why are you slandering the people? Do you not fear that Allah will expose and humiliate you in this dunya before He disgraces you in the next life?
أيها المسلمون، إن غيبة إخوانكم لهي إهداء أعمالكم الصالحة إليهم، فإنهم إذا لم ينتصروا في الدنيا أو يحللوكم أخذوا يوم القيامة من أعمالكم الصالحة. فإن فنيت أعمالكم الصالحة أخذ من أعمالهم السيئة فطرحت عليكم ثم طرحتم في النار.
O Muslims, to backbite your brothers is to give them your good deeds, because if they do not pardon you in this dunya, then on the day of judgment they will take from your good deeds. And after your good deeds have been taken away, then you will have to take from their evil deeds. And then you will be flung in the hellfire.
فاتقوا الله أيها المسلمون واشتغلوا بعيوبكم عن عيوب الآخرين.
So fear Allah, O Muslims, and busy yourselves with your own faults rather than the faults of the people.
وإذا كنتم صادقين في إخلاصكم ونصحكم فأصلحوا عيوب إخوانكم ولا تشيعوها ولا تشهروا بهم. إذا رأيت من أخيك ما يقدح فيه فاذهب إليه وانصحه بينك وبينه لتكون من الناصحين لا من الفاضحين.
Therefore, if you are truthful in your sincerity in wanting to give advice and wanting to rectify the faults of your brother, then do not spread the faults of your brothers and do not expose him. Rather, if you see something in your brother that is blameworthy, then go to him and advise him between yourself and between him, so that you can become of those who give advice and not of the shameful.
أيها الناس، إن أمر الغيبة عظيم، وإن عظمها وإثمها لا يتضاعف حين تتضاعف آثارها السيئة.
O people, this affair of backbiting is a great major issue, and this issue is multiplied, and the sin is multiplied when the evil effects of this backbiting is multiplied.
ولقد ابتلي بعض الناس بغيبة صنفين من الأمة هما ولاة الأمور فيها من العلماء والحكام، حيث كانوا يسلطون ألسنتهم في المجالس على العلماء وعلى الدعاة وعلى الأمراء وعلى الحكام الذين فوق الأمراء.
And some of the people have been tried with backbiting two groups from this ummah, and they are the leaders of this ummah, from the ulama and the rulers, so that they, when in a gathering, slander the ulama and the du'at, and they slander the amirs and the rulers who are in charge of the amirs.
وإن غيبة مثل هؤلاء أشد إثما وأقبح عاقبة وأعظم أثرا لتفريق الأمة.
And backbiting, the aforementioned, is a greater sin, and it has an evil result, and it has a worse effect, because it divides the ummah.
أيها الإخوة، إن غيبة ولاة الأمور من أمراء أو علماء ليست غيبة لهؤلاء بأشخاصهم، ولكنها غيبة وتدمير لما يحملونه من المسؤولية. فإن الناس إذا اغتابوا العلماء قل قدر العلماء في أعين الناس، وبالتالي يقل ميزان ما يقولونه من شريعة الله، وحينئذ يقل العمل بالشريعة بناء على هذه الغيبة، فيكون في ذلك إضعاف لدين الله تعالى في نفوس العامة.
O my brothers, verily backbiting the leaders from the amirs or the ulama is not to backbite them on a personal level. Rather, this backbiting is destruction for what they are carrying from their responsibilities. Because if the people backbite the ulama, then you are going to diminish the status of the ulama in the eyes of the people. And as a result, you are going to diminish the weight of what the ulama are saying from the laws of Allah. And as a result, you are going to diminish the people working by the laws of Allah. And all of this is built around backbiting. So therefore, this will cause the deen of Allah Ta'ala to be weakened in the lives of the people.
وإن الذين يغتابون ولاة الأمور من الأمراء والحكام إنهم ليسيئون إلى المجتمع كله، لا يسيئون إلى الحكام فحسب، ولكنهم يسيئون إلى كل المجتمع، إلى الإخلال بأمنه واتزانه وانتظامه. ذلك لأن ولاة الأمور من الأمراء والحكام إذا انتهك الناس أعراضهم قل قدرهم في نفوس العامة، وتمردوا عليهم فلم ينصاعوا لأوامرهم ولم ينتهوا عما نهوا عنه، وحينئذ تحل الفوضى في المجتمع ويصير كل واحد من الناس أميرا على نفسه، وحينئذ تفسد الأمور ولا يصلح الناس فوضى لا سرات لهم.
And verily the people that backbite the leaders from the amirs and from the rulers, then they bring evil to the entire society. They don't just bring evil to the rulers alone, rather they bring evil to the entire society. And they breach the security, and they remove the normality and the peace from the society. And this is because the leaders from the amirs and the rulers, if the people begin to slander their honor, then you diminish their status and their position in the lives of the people. So the people will begin to rebel against them, and they will not obey their orders, and they will not avoid what they have been told to avoid. And at this time you will find confusion in the society, and everyone will become his own leader. And at this point the affairs will become corrupt, and the people will have confusion, and they will not have ease.
وإن الغيبة من كبائر الذنوب ليست بالأمر الهين، ولقد انتشر في الآونة الأخيرة نشرات تأتي من خارج البلاد وربما تكتب في داخل البلاد فيها سب ولاة الأمور والقدح فيهم، وليس فيها ذكر أي خصلة من خصال الخير التي يقومون بها، وهذه بلا شك من الغيبة. وإذا كانت من الغيبة فإن قراءتها حرام، وكذلك تداولها حرام، ولا يجوز لأحد أن يتداولها ولا أن ينشرها بين الناس، وعلى من رآها أن يمزقها أو يحرقها، لأن هذه تسبب الفتن، تسبب الفوضى، تسبب الشر.
And verily, backbiting is from the major sins, and it is not a light affair. And verily it has begun to spread in recent times. Bulletins and articles have begun to spread from outside of the country, and sometimes they are being written from inside of the country. And these articles contain insulting the rulers and defaming them, and they don't mention any good that the rulers have ever done. And this is without doubt from backbiting. And because it is from backbiting, then reading these type of articles is haram, and also to circulate them is haram. So it's not permissible for anyone to circulate these articles, nor to distribute them amongst the people. And it is upon the one who sees these articles that he should rip them up or burn them, because these articles which defame the leaders are the reason for fitna, and they are the reason for confusion and the reason for evil.
ولقد حذر مفتي هذه المملكة شيخنا عبد العزيز بن باز وفقه الله ورحمه في الدنيا والآخرة، لقد حذر من تداول هذه المنشورات، وبين أنها سبب لفتنة عظيمة، سبب للتفريق بين الحكام والرعية، وسبب للشر والفساد.
And the Mufti of Saudi Arabia, Al-Shaykh Abdul Aziz ibn Baz, may Allah give him tawfiq, and may Allah have mercy upon him in this dunya and the next life, he has warned from spreading these publications. And he made it clear that this is the reason for a great fitna, and this is a reason to cause division between the rulers and the citizens, and this is a reason for evil and fasad.
وحذر وفقه الله لما فيه الخير، حذر من تداول هذه الأوراق المنشورة، وأنا كذلك أحذر معه، وكذلك بقية إخواننا العلماء الناصحين يحذرون أمتهم من تداول هذه المنشورات.
So he, Sheikh bin Baz, may Allah give him tawfiq to every good, he warned against spreading these publications, and I also warn against spreading them, as do the rest of our brothers from the ulama, those who give advice. They warn from spreading these type of publications.
وإني أقول لكم أليس النبي صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم قال في الغيبة إنها ذكرك أخاك بما يكره؟ فهل هذه المنشورات يكره ولاة الأمور الذين نشر ما يقال عنهم، هل هم يكرهون ذلك؟ إنهم بلا شك يكرهونه.
And I say to you, did the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him and his family, did he not say concerning backbiting that it is to mention something about your brother that he would hate to be said about him? So these publications that defame the rulers, do they hate these publications? Do they hate these things that are said about them? Without doubt, they hate this.
وحينئذ يتحقق أنها من الغيبة، وإذا تحقق أنها من الغيبة فإن الغيبة من كبائر الذنوب، وإذا كانت من كبائر الذنوب فإنها لا تكفرها الصلاة ولا الصدقة ولا الصيام، لقول النبي صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم: الصلوات الخمس والجمعة إلى الجمعة ورمضان إلى رمضان مكفرات لما بينهن ما اجتنبت الكبائر. وفي لفظ: إذا اجتنبت الكبائر. وعلى هذا فإن الصلوات المكفرات للذنوب إذا كان بينها كبيرة فإنها لا تكفر الذنوب.
So with this, we know without a doubt that this is from backbiting. We know without a doubt that this is from backbiting. And backbiting is from the major sins. And since it is from the major sins, then you cannot achieve atonement from it just due to the daily prayers, nor by charity, nor by fasting. And this is based upon the statement of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him and his family, when he said, it can be translated as, the 5 daily prayers, and Jum'ah to Jum'ah, and Ramadan to Ramadan, are an atonement for what comes between them if the major sins are avoided. And with this we know that the prayers are an atonement for the sins. But if there comes between them major sins, then there will not be an atonement for them.
فاتقوا الله عباد الله، وإنني أكرر وأقول إنه لا يجوز تداول هذه المنشورات، وإن من تداولها أو نشرها فإنه آثم وسيلقى عقوبته يوم القيامة. سيسأل عن نشر معايب الخلق، عن نشر معايب ولاة الأمور.
So fear Allah, O slaves of Allah, and I repeat, and I say, it is not permissible to circulate these publications, and verily the one who circulates them or spreads them amongst the people, then surely he is a sinner, and he shall be thrown his penalty on the day of judgment, and he shall be asked about spreading the false of the creation, and about spreading the false of the rulers.
على أن هذه المنشورات بعضها قد جمع بين الغيبة والبهتان، إذ أن فيها ما لا صحة له أصلا.
And with some of this, when they spread these publications, they are combining backbiting and lies, because what they say has no origin or no basis in it.
أسأل الله تعالى أن يحمي شعبنا وولاة أمورنا من الفساد والإفساد، وأن يجعل كيد المسيئين المفسدين في نحورهم، وأن يدمر ما خططوه لهذه البلاد الآمنة.
We ask Allah to protect our people and our rulers from evil and corruption, and that He place the plan and plots of those evil mischief makers back in their own throats, and that He destroy what they have planned for this safe country of ours.
أسأل الله تبارك وتعالى أن يجعلنا جميعا هداة مهتدين صالحين مصلحين، إنه على كل شيء قدير. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي، يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. وأوفوا بعهد الله إذا عاهدتم، ولا تنقضوا الأيمان بعد توكيدها وقد جعلتم الله عليكم كفيلا، إن الله يعلم ما تفعلون.
I ask Allah Ta'ala to make us of those people who guide and who are righteous and who bring about rectification. Verily He has power over all things, O slaves of Allah. Verily Allah enjoins justice and goodness and giving help to kith and kin, and He forbids you from every kind of evil deed and from every kind of oppression, and He admonishes you, perhaps you may take heed. And Allah Ta'ala says in chapter number 16, verse number 91, what can be translated as, and fulfill the covenant of Allah when you have been given the covenant, and break not the oaths after you have confirmed them, and indeed you have appointed Allah as a trustee over you, and Allah knows all that you do.
واذكروا الله العظيم الجليل يذكركم واشكروه على نعمه يزدكم وانتهزوا هذه الساعة بالدعاء والإلحاح على الله عز وجل فإنها أرجى ما تكون ساعة في الإجابة في هذا اليوم المبارك والله يعلم ما تبدون وما تعلنون.
Remember Allah al-Azim al-Jalil, and He will remember you, and thank Him upon His many blessings that He has bestowed upon you, and He shall increase you, and take advantage of this hour with making dua to Allah Azza wa Jal, because it is hoped that this is the hour that the dua are accepted upon this blessed day, and Allah knows what you conceal and what you do in open.
الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا كما أمر وأشكره وقد تأذن بالزيادة لمن شكر وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وإن رغم أنف من أشرك به وكفر وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله سيد البشر الشافع المشفع في المحشر صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه خير صحب ومعشر وعلى التابعين لهم بإحسان ما بدا الفجر وأنور وسلم تسليما كثيرا.
All praises be to Allah. We praise Him much as He has ordered, and we thank Him, and Allah has permitted an increase for the one who thanks Him, and I bear witness that nothing has the right to be worshipped except for Allah alone without partners, even if it spites the nose of those who commit shirk and disbelieve. And I bear witness that Muhammad is His slave and messenger, the best of mankind, and the best of those who intercede on the day of gathering. May the peace and blessing be upon him, his family, and his companions, and those that follow them in goodness until the day of judgment.
أما بعد أيها المسلمون اخرجوا من المظالم اخرجوا من مظالم العباد اخرجوا من مظالم العباد في أموالهم وفي أعراضهم قبل أن يدرككم الموت فلا تستطيعون الفداء.
O Muslims, remove yourselves from being the oppressor. Remove yourselves from oppressing the slaves of Allah. Remove yourselves from oppressing the slaves of Allah concerning their wealth and concerning their honor before death catches up to you, and then you are not able to find any ransom.
واعلموا أن المظالم أسباب لمنع الفقر وأسباب لمنع الخير كما قال الله تعالى ولو أن أهل القرى آمنوا واتقوا لفتحنا عليهم بركات من السماء والأرض ولكن كذبوا فأخذناهم بما كانوا يكسبون أفأمن أهل القرى أن يأتيهم بأسنا بياتا وهم نائمون أو أمن أهل القرى أن يأتيهم بأسنا ضحى وهم يلعبون أفأمنوا مكر الله فلا يأمن مكر الله إلا القوم الخاسرون.
And know that oppression is from the reasons that the rain will cease to come down, and oppression is from the reasons that a lot of good will be prevented. Allah Ta'ala says, what can be translated as in chapter number 7 verses 96 to 99, and if the people of the towns had believed, then we would have opened for them blessings from the heavens and the earth. But they denied the messengers, so we took them with a punishment for what they used to do. Did the people of the towns then feel secure against the coming of our punishment by night while they sleep? Or did the people of the towns feel secure against the coming of our punishment in the forenoon while they play? Did they feel secure against the plan of Allah? None feel secure from the plan of Allah except the people who are the losers.
فمن كان عنده حق لأخيه فليؤده إليه، من كان عنده حق لأحد من العمال فليؤده إليه، من كان عليه حق لأحد من العمال فليؤده إليه، من كان عليه حق لأحد ممن اشترى منهم أو عاملهم فليؤده إليه، فإن النبي صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم قال: مطل الغني ظلم، وأخبر أن الظلم ظلمات يوم القيامة. أدوا حقوق الناس إليهم، أدوهم فورا بلا تأخير متى كان الحق ثابتا فوريا.
So whoever has a right of his brother, then give it to him. Whoever has a right from anyone that works for him, then give him his right. Whoever has a right for anyone who works for him, then give him his right. Whoever has purchased something from someone, or the person has worked for them, then give that person their right. Because the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said what can be translated as, to delay giving someone their right is oppression. So he also informed us that oppression will be darkness on the day of judgment. So give the people their rights, and give it to them immediately, and do not delay. When it has been established that you have their right, give it to them immediately. 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 Immediately.